Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for our new moon in Aries meditation today. And happy Astrological New Year, because the New Year in Aries always kicks off the Astrological New Year. Great day to be in meditation. So what I want to say today, I want to kind of stay away from the specifics of the astrology because it's really not that germane to kind of my work, but it plays a role. So I always do like to bring it up. And right now, of course, we're still in the the throes of the Saturn Pluto conjunction, this 35-year cycle. We've got Saturn not in Capricorn now; it's in Aquarius, but it's going to retrograde into Capricorn later. This I want to say it's July or something. It's not going to be completely over until January of 2021, and the energies that are here right now with Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars, all of them are playing a role in this, are placing us in, this is a really beautiful thing. I'm dancing around how I'm going to say this. So astrology and numerology, both when viewed from the space of patterned consciousness, they are both exact sciences. Why? Because they're birthed out of pattern consciousness itself. So it literally, when you're looking at astrology or you look at numerology, they have laid out a roadmap, literally a roadmap that follows the cycle, the cyclical nature of patterned consciousness. It's kind of more from a macroscopic scale than from a microscopic scale of like the individual self. So we can look to astrology for a projection out into the most likely future based on the present condition of consciousness, which, of course, if it's patterned, what do we know? We know that the patterning always presents in a certain way, and it has to because it is part of the program, and the program chooses for itself. So when we look at what's going on right now with COVID-19, with our global economic meltdown that we're in the middle of, we can actually see that this is perfectly aligned with the 35-year Saturn-Pluto cycle. It's perfectly aligned. There is no coincidence about that. If you go back 35 years, go back to 1985, what you will see, and I'm going to talk about here in the US, but this was not just in the US, this was in different countries around the world, like the UK for one. We look at literally the beginning of the Neoliberalism movement at a larger scale than just kind of a theoretical thing. I think it started in 1947 or something, but in the 80s when Reagan came in, he ushered in this whole kind of new way of thinking about the economy and branching out into a global economy and cutting taxes and deregulating industries, all of this stuff that in the period of the 80s created a boom, right, for the economy. So in the short term, people who saw it thought it was a brilliant thing. And I'm sure that it's been perpetuated mostly because it seemed like such a positive. But Saturn's a funny thing, right? So Saturn, the taskmaster, will say, whatever your choices are, whatever lesson it is that you need to learn, I'm going to give you that opportunity, but I'm going to make it hard on you to get the lesson, because unless it's hard on you, you won't actually get it. That's what Saturn does. So Saturn and Pluto were starting this journey together in 85, and they're rounding it out now-ish, right? We're still in the middle of that. Not in the middle, we're on the back end of it. And what do we see right now? We literally are seeing the fallout from what started 35 years ago, politically and economically, because they were combined, very much combined. And it's giving us such a brilliant opportunity. And this is the thing that I think is so important, right? The universe always gives us exactly what we need, right? Doesn't mean it's what we want, but it's what we need. And it's what we need for our own evolution, for our growth. And the universe right now that is giving us COVID-19 and giving us economic meltdown is saying this is what you need. So we now collectively have to look at that and say, why do we need it, right? Well, obviously, at least from my vantage point, obviously we need it because we're falling short concerning how we're functioning as a collective, right? The political, the economical way that we view the world and we participate in the world, are we functioning from a place that is inclusive? No, we're not. Do we take right action based on an objective perspective? No, we do not, right? We see a lot of right for me, but wrong for everybody else, right? And are we doing things that as we step back and look at what is best for the whole, are we making decisions and then taking action in the world based on what is in the highest good of all concerned versus what is best for me right now? No, we do not do that. So Saturn and Pluto together right now are going, look, you didn't make the right choices that was going to lead to greater awareness. So we're going to bring you in the form of these challenges. We're going to bring you this opportunity to have to kind of push through this thing and then make better choices coming out of it. So we have a gift. It's a huge gift. The question is, what do we do with it? Do we make the patterned program continue where the ego makes its choices based on what's good for me unconsciously? Or do we step forward from a conscious place and say, we don't want to do that again, because we can see how hurtful it has been for so many people. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it for the few to be comfortable and wealthy while the rest, are under constant stress and are suffering. So when we look at the astrology, what we know, right? It's an exact science. What we know is that we are in the first, the first part of a whole 2,000-year age. We're coming into the age of Aquarius. There's no question change is coming. There's no way around it. Change will come, right? And will it be positive? Yes, it actually will be. There's no way around it. It's like we're doomed to be better. But at the same time, since we're in an overlap period, it could be really, really hard to get there. You understand? Because this Saturn energy, as it does its thing every 35 years with Pluto, is constantly going to be giving us the opportunity. So you ready to move into Aquarius yet? And if we say, no, not yet, it goes, okay, so let's give you more Capricorn lessons to learn. And then how's it going to do it? It's going to make it harder. And it's going to make it harder. And it's going to make it harder. How much do you want to suffer before you make a change for the better? And that's what Saturn is here to do right now for us. So it is our collective choice at this time. I just think it's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold and see what the collective does choose for itself. We have the energies of change that are very present with us, right? Politically, if we look back to 5 years ago, we had the Sanders campaign in the U.S., bringing massive change. He's saying we have a systemic problem here and it needs massive change. That's Aquarius. It's saying, stir it up, do something you've never done before. It's going to be scary as anything, but you've got an opportunity. And we said, no, too scary. No. And then that energy came back for this round. And what are we saying again? It looks like we're saying, no. Like, we want to stick with what we've got. We want it to be like it was the good old days back in the 80s when we were starting this cycle where now we're all suffering. No, that's not what we want. But maybe it is what we want. If it is what we want, it's because it's what we need. Don't forget that, right? So your responsibility is you do the best you can in your own personal life, knowing that that makes an impact on the collective. And if we all do that, the collective will shift incredibly quickly.